Well, g'day. It was loud. I hope you weren't wearing earphones for that. Yeah, I'm not off me chops at all. Totes, sobes. 100%. Oh, God. I actually kept some of that bad brew I made last year. It was kind of horrible, but I put so much good stuff into it that it was a good sniffing beer. That's all it was. It was a sniffer. You could smell the fruity rottenness in it, but sorry. But yeah, it was just bad. I knew it was bad, and I left it in the keg for like a couple of weeks, longer than I should have anyway, and then I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to bottle it and see what happens. Don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that. Rotten fruit is rotten fruit. Give it to the worms. Give it to the crawlies. Ooh, it's only a little bit of head. Been a while since I've had some good head. Literally. Yeah, okay, it's about time I got a woman, I guess. Oh, who needs women? Who needs that fucking hassle? Man, I've had at least 3 or 4 last week. I don't know. I'm not like that. I actually believe that schizophrenia comes about from mingling with too many people. See, I keep all my personalities straight and level and sane. And when you bring in another personality, which, it'd be alright if women only had one, but most of them have got like fucking 20 or 30 they bring into the equation. When you mix that with mine, it just never seems to work. I'm almost tempted, almost tempted. Don't tempt me, but maybe, I don't know. I'm not attracted to men, honestly. I'm just not. I have nothing against you guys that like guys. I think that's really cool, Yeah, I'm actually like, it'd probably be good because at least a guy knows what a guy likes. And we all know that a guy has a G-spot. Well, most guys are aware that guys have a G-spot. In fact, G, that's what makes them happy. So why they're called gay. Because gay just means exuberantly happy. You're cheerful, you're relaxed, you get along with people, you're not a threat to anybody. We should probably all be a bit more gay, really, when you think about it. And the G-spot in the male is up the cohiba, the back passage, the prostate, to give it a scientific doctor term. Well, it's really a gland of, well, women have a G-spot too. I guess we all have a G-spot, and it's like, gee, I didn't know that was there before. And when you stimulate it, it's like can't believe this. Can you believe this? I come down and make a fucking rant. The fucking fly is still undone. That's just rude. I apologise. Gee, I apologise. I wouldn't ordinarily walk out in public with my fly down. But I guess the purpose of this rant is to uncover a few truths and just be happy, you know. I just did that up and it's already come undone. What a... Oh, you can... So, I should have blown my nose before I started this rant. See that? I just blew my nose. If only I could blow my own. That's terrible. That's really awful. Look, I'm gonna have to swallow it. When you swallow your own snot, not much difference to swallowing what's not snot. It reminds me of that joke we used to say as kids. If you see a little bunny and his nose is very runny and you think it's very funny, well, it's not. Bugs Bunny would have loved that. Especially when he's dressed in drag. Do you find Bugs Bunny attractive when he's dressed up as a woman? No. Well, kinda. And, you know, people get hung up on a lot of shit. You can get hung up on it. Oh, this is the devil Baphomet. You know, the devil with the horns and the tits. The really nice tits. But he's got this fucking cock and intertwining snakes. Now, an interesting thing occurred to me out of the blue some years back. After I got into a bit of strife, I was an absolute saint, you might say. I was curious to explore the world of sexuality, and unfortunately for me, I did break a commandment of coveting another man's wife. I didn't covet her really, like, you know, she more or less coveted me, but she was married and I did the wrong thing. I was a naughty boy, smack. And I got into a lot of strife because her husband just happened to be some fucking angry dude with a black belt in Taekwondo and wanted to kill me. And so I was just sort of laying low for a bit while I was waiting for her to, you know, do the right thing, get a good reference from a job so we could take off together and start a new life somewhere. And anyway, he did discover where we were and he was trying to kill me, and I just defended myself as best as I could at the time against some fucking angry husband with a black belt in Taekwondo. So, you know, unfortunately he did end up in hospital for a few weeks. I had some serious charges against me, but while I was getting through the recovery, I ended up meeting the woman who I ended up marrying, which, you know, she was just a tall, leggy, blonde, Swedish descendant woman, hence why I had my kids, beautiful little Viking warrior kids. So, you know, I wasn't an angry, violent person at all, and I used to have to spend a lot of time, you know, just in the prison of my own mind. And one of the things I did in this van I had at the time, out of the blue, drew that picture myself. I'd never really seen pictures. I hadn't been looking into anything esoteric or anything. I was only 19 years old, And on the wall of my van, it was actually on the sliding door, I just had a pencil and I just started sketching it one day out of the blue. And I drew like the two snakes intertwined around a dagger with, the Cobra Heads looking at each other. One was green, one was red. Did a yin and yang symbol for the knob of the handle of the knife. And I think it's because by actually stabbing somebody to preserve my own life, I did bring in this sort of energy into my own existence, and in a very innocent, naive sort of way. So it's like a kundalini sort of energy thing I was getting to. Man, I go off on tangents. I think I need to have a fucking smoke so I can focus. I might go have a fucking smoke so I can fucking focus. Give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, alright? I know some people hit, oh yeah, I got a pause button. I don't do that. No. Holy shit, I just edited my first video. How fucking cool is that, eh? Fuck yeah, come on. Admit it. I even blew my nose because it was irritating me slightly. See, that's the trouble with eating mucousy foods. And I do eat minimal mucousy foods. Thank goodness for that. I don't know how you people eat funny glasses of milk or chocolate milk or cereal or, oh god, I used to get the worst colds and flu when I was a kid eating that crap. Thank goodness now, if I have a thing of, say, pasta or pizza or something with some amount of dairy in it, like cheese, at least overnight, my body's been fine-tuned enough to be able to process it. But it does mean that the next day I'm going to have to blow some shit out my nose, and I'd rather that than be getting chronically ill and going through the flu or colds. Oh man, I reckon I hate going through being sick. I haven't had that in, well, I have had it, but I've had it maybe twice in the last 15 years. The last one was when I was in the Philippines, and I put that down to a range of things like being exposed to a heap of, hang on a sec, I'm wasting gas here. Oh, yeah, it's tasty. Oh. Sucks when you have to smoke hydroponic stuff just so you can keep the chemtrail shit out of it. Anyway, yeah, I put that down to having to eat foreign food and not being cooking in my own kitchen and being exposed to all these other fucking viruses and shit. So yeah, I try and I'm not swallowing that one. I swallowed enough for one conversation. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we were going to talk about some of this really interesting, kinky human sexuality stuff. So I'm just going to get right back into it. About the male prostate. Just up the butt, about as far as a finger can reach. That's where the male prostate is. That's one of these blokes, I've never gone for one, but blokes go to the doctor for a prostate examination, one of the strange side effects is they get a fucking hard on and they feel so embarrassed about it. Oh, jeez, I'm a married man. Oh, gee, I don't like that. Get real. Come on. The whole entire skin organ of the human body is covered with nerves. And when you stimulate nerves of any kind, it either feels good or if you really hit it hard, it feels bad. But you do the right amount of stimulation, anything feels good. Now, I have also never been in any sort of intimate way with a male person, which isn't to say that I wouldn't, but as I say, I'm not attracted to him, but there is this thing around now, hence the Baphomet male-female thing I was getting to. The transsexuals, the she-males, the she-boys, the chicks with dicks, basically, if you put it like that. And, you know, I accidentally stumbled upon it one time when I was watching a bit of porn, because I don't, like, watch porn all the time, but when I'm having a jerk off, you know, with my ultimate fleshlight, with water-based lubricant and the Aneros, well, I sort of stumbled across some Ladyboy porn and found, oh, wow, while I'm in this aroused state watching this, it actually sort of, you know, blew the top off my experience, so to speak, and it was really very, very nice. And so I sort of dabbled in looking at it here and there. Like, I mostly just look at naked women, but, you know, sometimes it can be arousing to look at another erect penis, and so what, you know? It's actually if it makes you happy, the more happy you are, holy shit. So you're gay, and what's wrong with that? Being super duper happy? Because there's all those hung up people that are miserable and they're jealous of people who are happy. Oh, how fucking dare you be happy while I have to put up with this miserable fucking bitch wanting to have me 24 hours a day with these fucking kids running around me feet. I've been there, done that. And I love my kids, you know. It was great. I don't regret the vast majority of it at all. You know, I don't regret them a single bit. They're awesome kids, you know. Whether or not we stay in touch doesn't matter. Still my kids. And yeah, it's almost like you feel obligated in a way to have kids as you're growing up. It just seems to be the normal thing to do, you know. My parents had kids and their parents had kids, and you're only going to live for so long, so get in there and have some kids and work your life away and retire and slowly die a horrible, horrible death, like having a fucking stroke and laying in a hospital bed barely breathing for weeks and weeks while your whole family suffers watching you suffering to death. Yeah, that seems like something worth striving towards, doesn't it? That seems to be the options available. So anyway, going back, way back, to where I was talking, in a completely different branch about health, and a certain man called Professor Arnold Ehret, Ehret, if I didn't say that before, Ehret, It's actually my last initials there, isn't it? Yeah, he came across this mucusless diet healing system and getting out in the sun on a daily basis and sweating out the toxins in the sunlight through your skin under the sun, especially around midday is actually the best time. 15 minutes per side basically is, or half an hour, no more than an hour usually. I mostly went early in the morning because I'm still pale and haven't completely mucusless cleaned, but doing that and fine tuning your body to this point where every nerve is so alive, like, no joint pain, no inhibitions, like eating good, healthy, blood cleansing, invigorating foods suddenly makes you like look at women in a much different way, like in such a way. And this is one of his theories that he said that the beard is a secondary sexual organ, which is probably why now beards have now come back into vogue. I've had one since I was 17 myself, but it's now sort of like the trend to have this, usually a full manly beard. And it's sort of because mankind themselves are coming of age, which, even though they still have these puffy hairdos, I just run my fucking fingers through it after the shower. I do part it a little bit, but anyway, the coming of age of mankind. Sorry, where it with fucking hair again. And so Eric's saying that the beard itself is a secondary sexual organ. Kind of makes you, like a cat in a way with your whiskers, and you feel vibrations you never knew you had before. And not only that when you are with a woman, of course, that those whiskers on the skin, like the tiniest feather touches, and wherever they touch just makes every nerve and cell tingle. And there's nothing wrong with that. The idea is we're here to give pleasure to one another, the highest of pleasures. And as they say, it's better to give than to receive. That's always been my motto. I'd rather give than receive. If you catch my drift. How can I put it a different way? A little bit of yin and yang's okay. So a good friend of mine, she goes by a name of some sort of chocolate thing, like caramello koala or something. I saw her post the other day and I didn't respond to it, but it was very interesting because she says, "What is it with men and transvestites?" And it's like, most men are like, they just go into this ridicule stage. Fucking trannies, fucking poofters. And it's like, is that like really? Or is that just really how you were trained to think about them? Like, when you visit somewhere like the Philippines and you actually meet a lot of people that are neither male or female, and I guess it's probably everywhere. Thailand especially, they're famous for the most beautiful of the Ladyboys. And there is something arousing about it to a man simply because, let's just look at it logically. First of all, she looks fucking hot as. You know, she's got the tits, the long hair, the beautiful face, the hot ass. Looks awesome in a skirt, long legs, and she really knows what a man likes in his ways of being pleasured, which is basically long, slow gobbies. And there are sensitive nerves in all sorts of places, you know. Heaps of blokes like having their arse licked. It's a fucking awesome feeling. You know, you find a woman that likes to do that. Well, then if it's a woman that's not a woman but knows what men like, well, that sort of goes in their favour too. Second thing is, you know, in times of shortage of women, you know, most women, guess what they do? They pop out babies in a good way. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing of creation. Don't get me wrong there. You know. But when it comes to when you're bred and you see a guy that can never have children and all he's really interested in is being attractive to men so that he can have sex and give pleasure, that kind of like puts them up a few notches. You know, like we've done our breeding. The world is populated. We don't particularly need to keep on making more babies all the time. So, you know, they fulfill that niche as well. So, in a way, I kind of accept them and embrace them and think, yeah, far out, awesome. And if every now and then, you know, your own prostate benefits from some stimulation, because it's a big bundle of nerves that is the male G-spot, and you're just going to ignore that your whole life and not find out what the ultimate orgasm really feels like? You got to be kidding me. That, hence why I mentioned this thing called the anaros. It's a doctor-developed things for men in their old age or whatever that were having all these prostate problems because they could put it up their ass while they're sleeping at night and it massages it a bit and helps bring it back to life. But if you've been neglecting it your whole life, of course it's going to stagnate and give you prostate cancer or some sort of problems in old age. You know, you got to exercise every muscle in your body and stimulate all the nerves. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a sensible thing. So, hence why I just got, you know, a toy or two to do that for me on it. I think I need to find a fucking ladyboy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love women. I love my fiance that I guess we're not engaged to anymore because circumstances didn't allow it. Because I was too busy fucking jacking off up in my anus. Maybe so. Maybe we don't need another person to be our stimulation. Maybe you just gotta do things on your own. Because when you do interact with another human, you've got all those personalities that you're engaging with and rubbing off on. And if you're really, really, really schizophrenic, it's probably because you've been rubbing off on too many people. So try and keep it to yourself. There's nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, it's great. And then when you do find the right woman that is a multi-personality, it'll be even greater. There's always strap-ons, I guess. Who would know? I've never, ever, ever tried it. I'm just fantasizing about the idea. Nothing wrong with fantasy. But, you know, taking it to the next level, she'd have to be pretty special. I think I'm going to go put my skirt on now and my bra and panties and talk to you pups later.